What's good? What's good? Let me see. Already struggling today, dude. Am I struggling on your end? Is
Nah,
the stream lagging or
I
am I
mean,
good?
connection looks good. I just didn't.
All right, dude.
I just didn't hear the music.
Really? I put it there. No? Hello, and welcome to the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast. If you don't know, my name is Matt. Dorian is on that side of your screen. We are here before and after every UFC fight weekend. We appreciate you joining us here today, whether you are live or you are watching this after. Either way, we thank you very much. Dorian, how was your weekend this past weekend, man?
I had a good weekend overall. Couldn't complain. Got to spend a little time with the family. Got to enjoy some dinner. My dad decided to grill out a little bit, so couldn't complain with that. But as far as gambling goes with UFC, I mean, man, it might have been one of my worst weekends yet, and I decided to not chase. And maybe it was for the best because, man, I busted my butt this weekend. I know on the flip side you had a pretty good return, but yeah, for me it was pretty bad gambling wise.
Yeah, for me, pretty good weekend all together. I don't know if you can see the shirt or not, but I got my my BKFC shirt on. Went to BKFC Friday night. That was awful, dude. That was the worst shit I've ever seen in my life. Like I paid like $110, and I had to pay for 2 tickets. So,
The
dude, yeah,
Golden
like
Octagon BKFC podcast, huh? I mean, rebrand here.
yeah, probably not, dude. But I would maybe go again if the tickets were like 20, $30, something like that. But no chance I pay over $100 for like another one of those tickets, dude. I saw multiple takedown attempts. I saw a spinning back kick. I saw a like the ref, like Ray Lewis, like the main event, dude. He like damn near speared him. It was probably the craziest shit that I had ever seen. Fights was falling off. Yeah, dude, I don't recommend it. I gotta be honest.
I mean, I've watched like some of the cards before, like just on TV, but it's all like it is a circus. Like all the events that I've ever seen
Dude,
that
their
they've ever
records
hosted.
were so bad. Like all of them, like were like he's got a professional combat sports record of 7 MMA fights. So you would like look it up, and he's like 1-6. Like, and this is his bare knuckle debut. It's like, oh goodness, what am I watching?
Yeah, and some of the guys like on there hadn't even won like a BKFC fight, like up
Dude,
to
they're
that
like
point.
0-3. They're like making his third BKFC appearance, and he's like at 0-2.
With a record of 0 wins and 3 losses. You're like, what the hell?
Yeah,
Like, what kind of
it is
clown
wild.
show is this?
It is wild. But yeah, man, as you said, I didn't do too bad over here betting wise. I did pretty solid over here on my end. I posted a few screenshots, things like that, of my winnings this past weekend, so I couldn't be too mad at that. Unfortunately, I didn't win a absorbent amount of money. I don't have the balls to put a big chunk of anything on one of those 9 leg parlays. So I just put $1 or $2 on each, but I did come out probably like 10 times in my money this past weekend. So patted the pockets for the next few upcoming weeks. Unfortunately, there's no fights, or there's no UFC fights this upcoming weekend. So before we get started, let me give you guys a rundown on what to look forward to on today's show. Only 2 topics, so we do apologize for that, but we're gonna run over this past weekend's fights. UFC Fight Night. It was in San Antonio. Marlon Cheater versus Corey Sandhagen. We're gonna talk about that. And then we're gonna give you guys some fight news, fight announcements, things like that. Yeah. Before we get, you guys wouldn't mind, hit that thumbs up button. If you're not subscribed to the Golden Octagon MMA YouTube channel, come on now, help us out over here. Just trying to get all the eyes on us that we can. We are just 2 huge MMA fans. Anything before we get started, man?
Nah, man. Let's get right into it.
All right, so let me give you the results. Let me pop the banner up on the screen because I was terrible about that last week. Let me give you the results from this past weekend. Marlon Chito Vera versus Corey Sandhagen. All the fights, top to bottom, and then we'll go from there. So Corey Sandhagen does defeat Marlon Chito Vera via decision after all 5 rounds. Holly Holm does defeat Yana Kunitskaya via decision. Nate Landwehr does defeat Austin Lingo via second round rear naked choke. Macy Barber does get a controversial split decision over Andrea Lee. Albert Duraev does get the decision over Chidi Njokuani. Daniel Pineda does get a round 2 submission over Tucker Lutz. That really shot my parlays, dude. And on the prelims, Lucas Alexander did defeat Steven Peterson via decision. Trevin Giles defeated Preston Parsons via decision. CJ Vergara knocks out Daniel Da Silva or Lacerda, whichever one he wants to be, in the second round, but I feel like that was expected. And the opening fight of the night, Victor Altamirano does defeat Vinicius Salvador via decision, dude. So a couple fights fell out this past weekend. Haley Callan versus Tamiris Vidal and Manuel Torres versus Trey Ogden, dude. So we did have a shit ton of fights. Some fell out. But before we go any further, let's get this out of the way. Our weekly pick champ. If you don't know about our weekly pick champ, me and Dorian every week pick three fights for fight nights and 5 fights for pay-per-views, and we put up our weekly pick champ up on the line. Whoever gets the more fights correct out of the ones that we pick gets the weekly pick champ. So our picks this past weekend were Corey Sandhagen versus Marlon Chito. I did go Corey Sandhagen. Dorian did go Marlon Chito Vera. Our second fight was Albert Duraev versus Chidi Njokuani. Dorian did go Chidi Njokuani. I did go Albert Duraev. And our third and final pick was going to be Trevin Giles versus Preston Parsons. I did pick Trevin Giles, and Dorian did pick Preston Parsons. So that being said, y'all, and still this week, here it is. And not only that, clean sweep this week, y'all. 3-0. Dorian didn't even get one of them this week. So take away the pick champ this week, man.
A lot of controversial split decisions on those.
How you doing, brother?
What's going on, Daniel? What's up, man? Yeah, a lot of controversial split decisions on that one, man. That Duraev and Njokuani fight, little suspect. Definitely thought Njokuani won that fight, and yeah, man. I mean, just tough weekend overall. I thought Parsons was going to be able to put enough pressure, as his nickname is, on Trevin Giles, but hey, they ended up being a pretty good fight as well, and also went to a split decision. Main event shouldn't have been a split decision, but for some reason it ended up being one. But just overall a night of split decisions, and I ended up on the short end of the stick of the split. So
yeah. Fair enough, dude. Fair enough. It is what it is. I can't act like it hasn't happened to me plenty of times. Like, where I'm like, bro, I would have won the pick champ if, this thing. Yeah. One, for example, is that, like the Charles Johnson and his class fight, dude. I would have won the pick champ there. But yeah, dude. It is what it is, man.
Yeah, there's them ones, man. Like, cause I thought both the first two that the guys that I picked, had a very good argument as to winning the fight, and yeah, definitely gutted me because I was like, let's go, no, come on,
dude. Just to throw something out there, Trevin Giles in round 3 or decision was plus 310. Like that was in like almost like all my parlays. I was like, bro, I don't think he's gonna knock him out. Like, and dude, that locked up everything for the most part. So main event, dude. Marlon Chito Vera versus Corey Sandhagen. Give me your thoughts and how do you think this played out? Like you also said that, you don't think this should have gone to split decision. Me either, dude. But let me know how you think the fight went. You want to break it down for me?
Shoot. I definitely thought that Cheeto was going to be able to. I I thought that the way that Corey likes to fight, I thought that his pressure was going to be able to put Cheeto on the back foot a little early, but what Cheeto has been able to do, been pretty successful at, was coming on in the later bits of the round. But Corey just did everything, and he kind of just chained everything together. Just mixed the striking with the grappling a lot more. And there were situations where I think it was in the second round when Corey goes to land a shot, and Cheeto's kind of like nodding his head, and he kind of excuse me, he kind of looks off in the crowd, and that's when Corey ended up like shooting for a takedown, and he didn't get the takedown. But it's just the fact that, hey, he's making Cheeto work constantly. But I was really surprised that Corey was able to hold Cheeto down in the way he did, and was able to use the ground and pound the way he did, especially early on in the fight. The way that Cheeto was just kind of content with certain positions and giving up rounds, and Corey just took absolute advantage of it. And I thought that Corey put on a masterclass performance. Crazy that it even went to a split decision, but Corey just showed why he's one of the top 3-4 guys in the world in that weight class.
Yeah. And he called out Merab after, so that's kind of a pretty solid call out, because it's like, hey, everyone wants him to fight for the title. Well, if you beat like Merab, then you should fight for the title next. I like the call out too. Good fight overall. 5 rounds. I thought it was pretty clear for Corey. I don't think Cheeto won any of the rounds, just to be honest. Like, he just took a little bit too long to get started, and Corey showing that he still belongs at the top for sure. Yeah, man, just outclassing, as I said. Anything else on this one?
What do you think about the potential of a Merab and Corey Sandhagen matchup? Like, kind of early thoughts on that. Like, where would you think the betting line would be? Early thoughts.
I would say it would be pretty close to even, but I would lean more with Merab just because, trains with Aljo, already got the game plan down. If he can work on a rear naked choke, dude, possibly, but who the hell knows, man?
Yeah. No, I think Merab would be the favorite. Maybe I'd say, honestly, I'd say probably about minus 170, 180 range. I would say I can see the lines opening up for Merab there, especially coming off that performance against Peter Yan. Don't want to do MMA math, but Merab beating Peter Yan and Corey Sandhagen falling just short of beating Peter Yan. I do think Merab would be the favorite, but with the way Corey's been fighting his last few fights, man, he definitely does have. He has a path of victory in the fight against Merab for sure. Especially the way that Corey is able to keep up with that same pace that Merab is able to put on. And if someone can match that pace with him, it's going to be interesting to see. And I think Corey can bring that to him.
Yeah. I actually have this as the title of the podcast. So let me ask you this, man. Did the UFC lose their biggest fight at 135? Because when this fight first got announced, I was like, yo, that's a tough fight for Cheeto. Like, if he loses like that fight, he's probably going to lose the O'Malley fight. And bro, like, is the O'Malley versus Cheeto fight at least gone for now?
Well, I mean, it was such a long path to kind of get back to there anyway, because a lot of people were suggesting maybe them two fight for like an interim title, but Henry Cejudo kind of parachuting in and fighting for the title is kind of really throwing a wrench into things, because Sean O'Malley was supposed to be the guy up next anyway, and I think that could have been a very good case that if Merab wasn't going to fight for the title and Sugar ended up beating Aljo for it, hey, there's a very good chance you could run it back with Cheeto and Sugar Sean. But I think Cejudo kind of halted their plans a little bit in terms of wanting to run it back. But I think there's a chance that the way that Sean O'Malley, the competitor that he is, if there is a chance that he gets the title back, I could see him wanting that. Or if he ends up getting in the title fight next, and say, for instance, if he falls just short, if Cheeto's coming off a win, or maybe if he ends up waiting it out, maybe I can see Sean O'Malley fighting it then. So, not saying it can't happen, but for the time being, yeah, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, man. He gave up his shot. That was my fear, dude. Was that like if he loses like this fight, like there goes the O'Malley fight, and like that's a huge fight for 135. But
They're both young enough though to where I think I think Cheetah's 30. I think what is Sean O'Malley like 28 or so.
oh no,
So
he's like 29 or 30, maybe
yeah,
31, dude. That like a year passing now, dude.
yeah. So but they're both if he's 29, Cheetah's 30. You still got 2 or 3 years to where you can kind of get them in their prime to be able to run that fight back again. So there's still plenty of time, but the path just doesn't line up for them to make it happen right now. But you can come back to it.
Fair enough, fair enough. So, anything else on the main event from this past weekend, man, or you want to move on down to the other fights?
No, we can keep moving.
All right, man. Holly Holm's still doing it. Just now signed a new contract, dude. I believe 6 or 8 fights, 1 to 2. She's already 41, dude. Do you think we see Holly Holm 6 to 8 more times, dude?
I hope not. I think a lot of the UFC's doing in that is that if they end up paying the older fighters a lot more money, they know that the older fighters are a lot sooner around the corner retiring, and maybe they don't see the end of that 8-fight deal, but they're still able to keep them locked in even after retirement due to I guess them not being able to go and explore other opportunities, say in Bellator or something like that. But do I want to see Holly fight them any more times? Not really.
Like,
good performance.
especially like with her new like fucking game plan, dude, where her goal is just to hold you against the fence, dude. It's like
Yeah, and I didn't know that. She was one of the more devastating strikers that we had ever seen, and when she was at her most successful was when she was, when she was putting chicks out of there with her striking. But as you said, I think she's just now just trying to make sure she could just keep the wins going because she was, I think, like 1-5 at one point. Like she had went through a stretch of like 6 fights where she was like 1-5. Now she only fought like the best of the best, so it's kind of hard to hold it against her at times. But at the same time, I think she's trying to pad more wins together, so she almost doesn't have kind of like that BJ Penn type ending to where maybe she ends up screwing up her record and people don't remember her as a great champion. But yeah, 8 more fights. No, I don't need to see that anymore. Like you said, with her style as well now, I don't. Yeah, she's definitely lost a lot of the fan excitement that she used to have at one point. Because I'm gonna be completely honest, I had no idea Holly Holm was even fighting on the card until kind of the week the fight card was announced. Like I had no idea Holly Holm was fighting. So there's just not that excitement for her anymore as there used to be.
yeah, man. I feel you. But what was Yana doing, dude? She was just like rushing in face first. The Holly Holm, dude.
Do you think part of that was just like maybe she was just off for a long time, so maybe just a little bit of jitters, a little bit of rust. She just did give birth, so maybe she got pregnancy brain still. I know.
What is
I know.
that?
I know Amber. She claims it from pregnancy. It wears on you. It wears on you a little bit. So there's a lot of exhaustion going on, and you got a little bit of pregnancy brain. So maybe she's just a little exhausted, a little tired, and just making judgment or just making decisions that she otherwise wouldn't make.
Fair enough, dude. Fair enough. The one dude, I was excited, and you picked Austin Lingo to win this fight, dude. Nate Landwehr versus Austin Lingo, dude. Round 1, I was like, damn, this fight's gonna be a lot closer than what I want it to be. That's why I did not like Nate Landwehr at a minus 300 favorite. But round 2, Nate Landwehr kind of calms down and just kind of makes it looks easy. Gets the second round rear naked choke. Thoughts on this fight, man?
Yeah, it ended up being a pretty wild fight. I ended up having to go back and watch it because, as I told you, I was having some dinner on Saturday night, so I had to go back and watch this fight. But Nate Landwehr, he's normally the wild man, and I always criticize him for like he did in that Onama fight, almost letting Onama back into the fight by just doing some dumb stuff, man. It's like, dude, just go in there and put the dude away. You have the opportunity to. He's gassed. You're full of piss and vinegar. Just take him out of there. But I think for this one with Austin Lingo's got some crisp boxing, so I knew that he was going to be able to make it a little bit tough for Landwehr, and Landwehr does get hit a little bit, so I thought that if he ended up getting caught with one of those shots, there's a chance that, hey, like Lingo's nickname, Lights Out, he can turn the lights out at any moment, but he was able to, Landwehr was able to, for the most part, avoid the damaging shots. And he turned it into an MMA fight and, made it scrappy, throwing kicks, and he ended up cracking him with a couple of head kicks there late in the fight. And then that was really what was able to set up that finish there at the end. So a lot more of a measured approach from Nate Landwehr, as opposed to the wild side that we're used to seeing from him, but still going out there and getting a finish too. So the wild man that he is, hey, he's still able to get that finish, still able to stay composed, and he fought a really good fight in my opinion.
Dude, he's got to be on the top, like one of the top 3 for best post fight quotes interviews. Right? He's like, "Hey, San Antonio, look at these biceps." Nate the Train in the UFC, baby.
Where is he ranked for you as far as like I guess as far as like the action fighters go? Because you have guys like I'll say like Justin Gaethje. I mean, obviously he's in a class of his own, but I think Fizie's in that class. Vicente Luque, guys who are like natural like brawlers, but still good fighters at the same time. Like, where do you kind of rank Landwehr amongst your kind of favorites like that?
There's 3 fighters that from this past few years now, there's been 3 fighters that every time that they fight now, I will be standing up when the fight starts because I'm like, oh, can't wait to see how this fight starts. It's like Nate the Train Landwehr, but this has been an ongoing thing for the past couple years now, dude. Every time I first saw him fight, I was like, hell yeah, that guy. Nate the Train, and now Trevor Peak, recently entered into there, and Josie Ann Nunez, dude. I'm going to be standing up anytime like those 3 fighters. If any of them are on the card when that fight starts, I'm standing up ready for the fight to start. But as far as like my fandom, I guess I don't really know how to explain it, dude. I enjoy them. Are they my favorite fighters on earth? Like, do I think they're going to win championships? Probably not. But dude, I will not miss a Nate the Train Landwehr fight. I can't.
Yeah, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with kind of, those are like those type of like niche fighters who, they're kind of in a separate category of, that's why I said, straight action fighters. You're not thinking about them as some type of like champion or anything like that. Like I said, for me, like one of my guys is like Brian Barberino. For the most part, I've only seen him in like brawls, and I'm not expecting him to be any type of champion or anything like that. But just one of those guys who, just about every time he fights, I go out there. As you said, I'm standing up. My heart's beating real fast because I'm like, we're about to see war. Like I'm like super pumped because those guys are fighting, and I know Landwehr. He's starting to creep up with him like the UFC fandom now because I had a guy text me that I used to work with over the weekend, and he was like, "Man, Nate the Train started to become one of my favorite fighters. Man, I love his post fight interviews." So he's definitely starting to make a lot more noise with his post fights and stuff like that. So he's got a lot going for him, and like I said, he's got the fight style to back up the tough and rugged attitude that he brings. So.
And I look pretty good too.
He's so damn goofy, man. He's just so damn goofy.
All right, man. Macy Barber versus Andrea Lee, dude. I thought Andrea Lee won that fight, and I actually messaged you Friday, and I was like, bro, Andrea Lee is going to win this fight. Something just told me like that Andrea Lee was going to win that fight, and you're like, nah, man, Macy's so much bigger. I'm like, bro, not really. Andrea Lee is much taller, and they're about the same size, like mass-wise, at least in my eyes. Before we talk about this fight, dude, I want to make a statement, and it is a true statement. This is not an incorrect statement. It's a double negative there, just in case y'all didn't know. Dude, if Macy Barber is not a size bully, she's for sure going to lose that fight, dude. And after calling for Alexa Grasso fucking rematch, saying that's the only fight that you lost, like, bro, she is so full of herself still, dude. That fight made me, I think, officially become a Macy Barber hater, dude. I was on the fence like before. I'm like, she might still be good in the future, as Dorian. Is she the future? He said, yeah. Bro, at this point, I am off, dude. I'm officially a Macy Barber hater, dude. You cannot tell me that you thought that you won that fight, and then because of that, you want to fight the champion now, dude. Get the fuck out of here. Give me your thoughts on this fight. Who do you think won?
Yeah, so her calling out Alexa Grasso after the fight, I mean, that, not really. I mean, I heard her in a couple of her interviews last week going around saying that and I actually do agree with her. She did win the third round in that fight against Alexa Grasso, but I mean, that doesn't mean that, that doesn't mean you won the fight. You won the third round and that's it. Alexa won the first 2 rounds clean. You won the third round clean, but you lost 2 rounds of 1. That's the name of the game. And, I don't think she should have called for that, because beating Andrea Lee doesn't get you a title fight, especially with Aaron Blanchfield sitting right there. But, I mean, I thought it was when the decision was announced, like after the fight, I did think, by the way the judges normally score fights, I thought that they were going to score for Andrea Lee.
When I heard 30-27, I was like, oh, Andrea Lee got it.
And yeah. When I heard 30-27, I was like, man, because Macy was definitely a lot more aggressive on her feet, and she was definitely landing more. Even Andrea Lee was landing some good shots. She was landing some good kicks, and she was kind of popping Macy Barber with that jab a little bit. But for the most part, Macy was having the exchanges on the feet. And when they were on the ground, especially in that first round, like, Andrea Lee did have a lot of control in the first round, but didn't do shit with it when she had top control. I mean, literally was just trying to just wrestle and hold position. And I mean, Macy was doing a good job defending herself to where she wasn't really giving Andrea Lee any opportunities. But Andrea Lee also did nothing, like, no ground and pound, no nothing. And then Macy Barber was able to get up and get the better of the exchanges. There in the second round, I thought Macy Barber was winning the whole second round until that last minute there when Andrea Lee took her down. Macy Barber kicks her off, and there's a minute left on the clock. And Macy Barber makes no attempt to get up whatsoever. She's just sitting there watching the time go by, and Andrea Lee just kicking her leg, and Macy Barber is basically trying to hit her with an up kick, and she hit her with a couple of kicks of the body, a couple of kicks of the thigh, but you're not really doing anything, and you're just letting time pass by. So I thought the judges might have scored that in the way of Andrea Lee, just with that last minute, the way it went. I thought Macy Barber was winning that round up to that point, and I thought Macy Barber won the third round. So I don't think it's crazy that you could see that Macy Barber won that fight. But to see that someone scored at 30-27 is nuts, because even with Andrea Lee doing nothing with top control in the first round, dude, I mean, she had top control for like 3 minutes or something like that. More than half the round, she had top control. She had to have won that round. I mean, there's no way around it. I just thought she lost the last 2 rounds. But yeah, there's 30-27 for Macy Barber is absolutely nuts.
Yeah, man, I couldn't agree more. Anything else on that fight?
No, I'm good.
All right, moving on down to one that I didn't think was going to go to decision, dude. But I guess answering my question, Chidi Njokuani versus Albert Duraev. I asked you this last week. I said, does Chidi have a bad gas tank? And you're like, bro, every time he loses, he gets finished like in the second round. So, I mean, possibly. But he proved it. Went all the way to decision this week, man. Give me your thoughts on this fight.
I thought that I did think that he was going to have to finish Duraev in order to be able to get the win, Chidi. I thought that Duraev was going to have to use a lot of wrestling. And there in the first round, he was able to use a lot of his wrestling. And, I mean, he was able to back up. Duraev was able to back up Chidi there in the second round. But I thought for the most part, man, I really thought that Chidi got the better of the exchanges of the strikes in the second round. And there was times where, Duraev was able to hold him up against the fence. I think he got a takedown there, but it wasn't a whole bunch of control time, and I thought Chitty won the third round cleanly. I thought Dariah definitely gassed out there with a lot of the wrestling attempts there in the first and second round, and I thought it was clean 2-3 went to Chitty, and I thought Chitty got the win there. So yeah, disappointed in some bets, disappointed in the pick champ on that one, because yeah, I definitely thought Chitty won that fight, but yeah, man, I guess Texas. They did say that Texas always has some wonky judging, and I mean that Macy Barber fight's one example, and this one's another too. But another split decision, man. This card was full of splitties, man. It was crazy.
Yeah, man, for sure. But as you said, lost to the pick champ. So that being said, make sure you guys remember, and still this week, and still, how many weeks in a row now, Doran? It's been a few weeks, dude.
I think it's like 3.
Not gonna rub it in too much because you did have it a few weeks the past few weeks before I've gone on this little run, but and still this week, baby, and still.
All right, I'm gonna give you time to breathe with it this weekend since there ain't no fights, but best believe next weekend I'm coming for that ass. Pause.
All right. Why just like fucking Aljo was like, I'm coming on that ass.
Damn, that's right. That's what it was. I'm coming on that ass. Pause.
And then he tried to correct himself, and it was like, hey man, you already said it now.
I'm coming for that ass. Like, nah, dog, you lost it. You lost it. It's done.
Yeah, you said it.
Like once he said pause, like you shouldn't have went back. It's done.
Yeah. Any other fights in this card you want to talk about, man? Or are you good? Oh, actually, CJ Vergara versus Daniel Da Silva. Let the people know. Give me your thoughts and opinions on this fight, man.
Yeah. So, absolutely. I told you that we were going out for dinner that night. So, I had just gotten off work, and I knew the card had started. So, I don't live far from work, so I was able to kind of watch the fights on the way. So, I was listening to the walkouts, but. As I walked in, I'm literally getting ready to get in the shower, and I'm in my underwear. And this fight starts happening, and Daniel Da Silva starts doing Daniel Da Silva shit and starts doing the spinning shit. And all of a sudden, he lands that first spinning head kick, and CJ Vergara is running. And I'm like, I've never seen anybody sprint in a fight before in my life. I've never seen this happen. And Amber's like, dude, what are you like talking about? I'm in the shower. She's in the living room, like waiting for me. And she's like, what are you talking about? I go in the living room and I'm like, standing in my underwear and socks. I'm like, nope, you have to watch this. And I ended up going back to the beginning to play that fight over. Fight was absolutely bonkers, man. Definitely one of the front runners for fight of the year for sure. Because Daniel Da Silva, I mean, I know that dude is all fireworks, but holy shit! Just for the way that he was able to land that spinning back kick, and when he landed that second one and kind of like almost slapped CJ Vergara with it, with like the bottom of his foot, I thought that Vergara was done. Just the way he fell over, like, and he went to take off running, and then Daniel Da Silva like punched him against the fence, and he fell over again. I'm like, dude, how is he still going? Like, this fight is over with. This fight is done, but. Man, CJ Vergara really just, I mean, stood the course and was able to, stay the course and take the damage and then inflict it right back to freaking absolutely gassed Daniel Da Silva, dude. But, man, that fight was bonkers.
Did that go any other way than what I explained last week, man? I was like, this guy is going to look great for about 3 minutes, and then he just falls off a cliff. Yeah, he actually seemed to improve his like fucking gas another 2 minutes. He actually started off strong round 2, but then it was like he just kind of exited the octagon after like 30 seconds into round 2. He's like, I'm good. See you guys later.
Yeah, but he tried to throw a few more spinning heel kicks, and once they didn't land, he was like, shit. It's just kind of crumpled over, dude. But man, the spinning heel kicked his way to damn fight of the night check though. So hey, can't complain too much as far as him getting paid.
Dude. 0-4. Does the UFC cut him?
Yeah, probably. At this point, even though you put on a lot of good fights, unless I can't see them bringing him back at this point. That's too many. That's too many losses before you get your first win.
All right, man. Fair enough. Anything else on this card, dude?
No. I mean, card kind of fizzed out there at the main card, didn't it?
Like, I really talked about this card for more than what I thought we were going to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I think that's more because we don't really have too much going on this weekend, so you can kind of milk it a little bit.
So that being said, let's move on into our fight news, fight announcements, things like that. Dorian, do you have? You said you had like a couple that you wanted to talk about, so I'll let you start off with the first one, man. What news did you bring to the table this week?
Yeah, and I actually think now that I'm thinking about it, I think a listener actually posted it in the comments last week, but I don't remember us actually talking about it. But that Paulo Costa actually has re-signed with the UFC and signed a new 4-fight deal. And come to find out that he said that it looks like it will be a matchup with either Sean Strickland or Khamzat Chimaev at 185 next for him, and he kind of wants to make the turnaround pretty quick. Wanted to get your thoughts on Paulo Costa re-signing a 4-fight deal. Secret Juice Man, your favorite 185er. Wanted to see what you thought about that and who he could potentially fight next.
Although I do think Paulo Costa is hilarious, he is definitely not my favorite 185er. He definitely has some comedy going on with the Secret Juice, though. I think he'll fight Khamzat. I don't think he's gonna fight Strickland. Partly because I saw Strickland maybe like 2 days ago on like Instagram was like, fucking UFC don't want me to fight Paulo Costa, so I might have to fight one of these like fucking up and comer. So because UFC wants Khamzat to fight Costa, so that's what I expect. What surprised me is that he said that he's getting $1 million per fight. Do you think that's bullshit or no? There's no way Paulo Costa is getting $1 million per fight, dude.
Yeah, I can't think so. I mean,
maybe like his win bonus would be $1 million, but that's like
right,
win, brother.
Right? Yeah, exactly. And I mean, he is an action fighter. He does bring the action. I mean, a lot of his fights, he does. The Vettori fight. The Vettori fight was crazy. Romero fight was nuts. The Luke Rockhold fight was crazy. I mean, all his fights are very entertaining. So I could see him going in there and fighting for a pretty penny for himself. But to think he's getting a Miller fight, that's kind of tough to think.
All right, man. So yeah, that's I just said that's kind of tough. One of the other news is that I have was I think a few months ago I said Ilia Topuria was going to be fighting Korean Zombie, dude. I don't know what happened. That got scrapped or something like that, or who knows, dude. That one might still happen, but here recently, Ilia said that he got offered Brian Ortega and Josh Emmett. Ortega came out today and said, not right now. Let him earn that just a little bit longer. So it looks like Ilia Topuria and Josh Emmett might be the fight that could be happening next. Give me your thoughts on Ilia Topuria versus Josh Emmett if that happens.
Phew. That's absolute fireworks, and honestly, two dudes who are kind of built similar to one another. So yeah, they're both short, stocky, explosive. What up? What up?
Sorry.
What up, Caleb? What up, Caleb? Yeah, I was trying to get the name in there. I was like, oh shit, he took it away before I got to see it. But no, I actually really do like that matchup. But I'm a Josh Emmett fan, so man, that's a really tough matchup for him. But Topuria is going to be hell for anybody on his way up the climb to eventually being. I think he's just going to eventually be champion at some point in time. I just think it's only a matter of time. And unfortunately, Josh Emmett is in his way, but man, that should be a fun fight while it lasts. And if Topuria is willing to take a few shots just like he has in the John Herbert fight, I mean, man, you don't want to sit there and exchange blows with Josh Emmett either. So let's not try to sit there and get crazy. But that could be a very fun fight.
For sure, makings of a fight of the night, though. Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, we know how Emmett is. He bites down, and he's for if it helps him or if it doesn't, willing to go on his shield, willing to go out there and bang it out, even if wrestling benefits him more. He would still go out there and bang it out till the end. And we know Ilia Topuria is all about going in there and scrapping it out. So yeah, it has fight of the night written all over it.
Hell yeah, brother. All right, so we'll move on to our other regular ones, and then we'll jump into anything else that we have, dude. Jack Hermanson versus Brendan Allen, dude. That's going to be June 3rd. Give me your thoughts on that.
Isn't that a main event as well? That fight, and I think that's the main event.
It said, "Oh yeah, headlines." Headlines.
Yeah, I think that's a really good escalation for Brendan Allen. I think especially after that Muniz fight. I know you're an all-in fan, and he did have those stumbles against Chris Curtis and Sean Strickland. Yeah, he had those stumbles, but you could definitely see the abilities there and why the UFC was initially pretty hyped on him when he first came into the UFC. I know that he has really good athleticism. Just head movement has just always kind of been his biggest thing. He does end up taking unnecessary blows. He goes in there and tries to trade and exchange a little bit too much when he might be the superior athlete and the better wrestler. And he ended up showing his jiu-jitsu chops in that last fight against Muniz. So if Jack Hermanson is kind of like that guy, like, hey, if you beat Jack Hermanson, you're of that ilk at 185. They're like, hey, you're one of the top 6 guys in this division and can potentially challenge for a title one day. So it's a good escalation for Brendan Allen coming off that Muniz fight, and it's a good fight. And Jack Hermanson definitely has some chances to win this fight too. So I think this is definitely going to be close.
And I believe like the Brendan Allen is still like 26, 27 years old too, dude. Like, dude's still so young.
Yeah, he's definitely still got time, and he got pushed a little quick early on, but kind of starting to, you can see he's starting to settle into his own, and he's starting to put some good performances together back to back, and he's really starting to hone in his ability, and I like the way he's starting to progress.
Fair enough, dude. Fair enough. So next one, we got Jin Yu Fry taking on Elise Reed. That's June 3rd. Thoughts on that?
I mean, okay, fight. Not really too stoked about it. I'm not super stoked about any Elise Reed fight too much. Jin Yu Fry, I know that's your girl, so I know that's your girl. Is that the Fire Fist?
No, that's Ji Young Kim.
Wait, so who is Elise Reed fighting?
She's fighting Jin Yu Fry. She was the Invicta Atomweight champion. She's like shredded though.
Shit. Okay.
He just got knuckled up by not Polyana Viana, but maybe who just knuckled up Jin Yu Fry like mad quick, like within the first.
Oh yeah. I think it was like it wasn't Viana, but it was like a Polyana though. I know which one you're talking about though, because it was like a minute in the first round too. It was super fucking quick.
It wasn't Lipsky.
No, it wasn't Lipsky. It was one of the Brazilian chicks though. It was definitely a Polyana though. It was definitely a Polyana.
Yeah, but so Jin Yu Fry may get knuckled up in that one too, dude. Who the hell knows? This one, a super good one, dude. I'm excited for this one. A tough fight and a good test. We got D-Rod taking on Ian Gary. That is May 13th. Give me your thoughts on that one, dude.
Shoo. I'm a fan of both guys, so that definitely is going to be a hard fight for me to root for either way. Again, good escalation for Ian Gary. I think that's a fight that you could say that he would be the favorite in, but D-Rod is going to bring the absolute dog in that fight to Ian Gary, and Ian Gary ain't gonna be able to get him out of there easy. D-Rod's got good footwork, good boxing. He's been able to hurt guys just with the short counter punches. Yeah, man, Ian Gary, dude. Yeah, Ian Gary, he's definitely the real deal. We do like him. And me and Matt are fans of him ourselves. that is a really good fight, man, and that's a good step up for Ian Gary.
Yeah, man. That's a close fight, dude. We might get an Ian Gary underdog line, yeah.
I think Ian Gary's going to be the favorite going in there. I do think that. D-Rod. I mean, you can say he might have fought a little bit tougher competition in the UFC at this point, but sneakily, isn't Ian Gary 4-0, 5-0 in the UFC right now? So I mean, he does kind of sneakily have a pretty decent record and is starting to mature in a lot of his performances. Starting to go late in a lot of these fights. In the Kanan Song fight, in his last fight, he got dropped and was able to get up and get the finish late in the fight as well. So he's been able to kind of put it together a little bit. So I think Ian Gary be the favorite. Probably a small favorite, though. I'd say maybe like minus 130, 140 range.
Okay, fair enough. Another absolute banger coming up here, man. We got Arman Tsarukyan versus Renato Moicano. Money Moicano, dude. April 29th. Give me your thoughts on that one.
Man, Renato Moicano has been fighting with piss and vinegar, dude. Like he has just been on one. He is another one. Like his post fight speeches, like he has like just been going on like these fucking crazy ass rants. Just going crazy on dudes, man. So he's definitely a guy to look out for at 55, and we know how good Arman Tsarukyan is. But man, I think Moicano might be a live dog in this fight, man. Tsarukyan does have good striking, but we did see in that Gamrot fight when he wasn't able to get those takedowns the way that he wanted to, he kind of struggled, and Gamrot was really able to put the pace on him, and Moicano kind of has a similar style to not similar as far as wrestling, but as far as wrestling defense, Moicano does, and he's got really good boxing, so he might be a live dog in that fight.
Yeah, man. That's going to be a real good fight. Off the jump, I would have to lean Arman Tsarukyan. What do you think the odds are going to be there?
Tsarukyan is probably going to be the favorite. I'd say probably. Probably minus 200. Honestly,
yeah,
I'd say probably.
That's the exact number I was going to say.
Yeah, I'd say probably minus 200. I'd say he'll probably be 2-1, but. Shoot, you'll probably get Moicano minus 180, or plus 180, plus 190 on the return. So again, and like I said, he's fought a lot more elite competition than Tsarukyan has too. So Moicano's every bit of the live dog in that fight.
All right, brother. Here's another one, dude. We got little brother versus little brother. We got Muhammad Usman taking on Junior Tafa. I think you actually sent me this one, dude. April 22nd. What's your thoughts on that one?
Yeah. I think that was kind of exactly what I said. Little brother versus little brother. But that should be pretty interesting, man. Tafa, he's definitely a lot more explosive with the kickboxing. Muhammad Usman is just a little basic. He's got big power. He definitely has big power, but man, the only thing with the Tafas do get hit a little bit. I know Justin Tafa. He can definitely get hit a little bit. So if they do leave their chin out there a little bit to get clipped, we know Muhammad Usman does have big power. So, but that should be a heavyweight slugfest, or what, light heavyweight? Yeah, light heavyweight slugfest for as long as it lasts.
That's gonna be a heavyweight.
Oh, okay, so it's a heavyweight. Damn. So Muhammad Usman is fighting it. Damn, that's crazy. Because didn't he? What was the Ultimate Fighter? Was it heavyweight or light heavyweight?
It was heavyweight.
Okay, for some reason I thought it was light heavyweight.
Palga just now went down to 205, so that's probably why.
Okay, yeah, that is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, what do you think? So who got winning that one? Caleb's got Usman all the way, brother.
Man. Probably lean at Usman, but I gotta see if I see him size up, at the weigh-in, and Tafa's a lot bigger, I might have to go Tafa, but for right now, yeah, I'll probably lean Usman. I picked Usman against Palga, so.
Dude, Usman's a big guy too, so who the hell knows? Hawaiian 50 saying aloha, fellows. Like button number 7. Well, thank you so much, Hawaiian 50. If you haven't already, please hit that thumbs button. thumbs up button for your boys over here. We are just trying our hardest, to give you our thoughts and opinions on these fights, upcoming fights, fight news, things like that. We would greatly appreciate it. So, yeah, man. So next fight, we got David Onama going to be taking on Hussein Ashabov, June 3rd, dude. And this guy's kind of slipping who he is, Hussein Ashabov. He looks familiar, but I'm not really 100% sure who he is. Name ring a bell or no?
I ain't got a damn clue on who the dude is. I ain't got a clue.
All right, so we'll move on to the next one. Jimmy Flick taking on Alessandro Costa, June 17th. Care about that one?
So Jimmy Flick, is he gonna stick around this time, or
It looks like
gonna? Yeah. I mean, he's pretty fun normally, so yeah, he should be fun. But let's see if he's motivated to fight this time around.
All right, dude. Haley Cowan versus Haley Cowan has gotten rebooked for April 29th. It's against a UFC newcomer. We have no clue who that is, so I'm not even going to ask you. Are you excited to see Haley Cowan actually maybe get a fight, or you care at all or no?
I mean, I was excited to see her fight a couple weeks ago because I think that was a fight that we had that could have potentially decided our pick champ, but I think we veered off into another pick. But
All right, man. Another one. We got Ugly Man Joe returning, dude. He's going to be taking on Claudio Hiberio. That's the guy with the coach. It's like, hey.
Like every time a strike is landed.
No, like walking out. He's like, hey, hey, just nonstop, dude.
Sounds like a damn alarm. I know your guy. Ugly Man Joe. I know you're excited to see him too. So, devastating striker he is, and his face and hair definitely live up to the name. Because that man's ugly.
All right, brother. Let's see. That's the results from this past weekend. Kind of quite a bit of news this week, dude. One of your favorites returning, dude, the Dirty Bird, Tim Means, going to be taking on Alex Morono, May 13th. Give me your thoughts on that one.
This should be a pretty interesting fight. Tim Means, hey, I will say that he is definitely a live dog in that fight because Alex Morono does like to keep it on the feet, and if he keeps it on the feet with Tim Means, his striking, he's got really good boxing. Chin's not there like it once was, but definitely still got good boxing. And Alex Morono could be in for it, but I think Alex Morono would be the slight favorite in that one as well.
All right, moving on up. Tatsaru Taira getting his another fight against Clayderson Rodriguez, June 24th. Thoughts on that one?
Yeah, that should be a pretty interesting fight. But
so it's like Caleb disagreeing with you on the Morono pick there.
Man, I don't know, Caleb. Man, that's a real tough pick. Dirty Bird in the house, man. We gotta hold him down. We gotta hold Dirty Bird down, man. Yeah, that's my guy, man. So he longtime UFC vet. It can't go wrong with him, man. He's always in a fun fight too.
I'm actually glad Austin brought this up. Did you see Paulo Costa announce that Izzy's out of 287 due to his clitoris injury?
Man, Costa's still hot that he's still on Izzy's highlight reel and getting humped in the aftermath. So hey, I was trying to give Costa some love earlier, but let's not let's not do that to the king. Come on now.
All right, brother. Moving on up. We got Maria Oliveira taking on Diana Del Bita. You don't care about that one. Let's not pretend.
Not at all.
Nicholas Mota is out, and Ignacio Bahamondes will now fight Trey Ogden, UFC 287, April 8th. Man, Trey Ogden was going to fight this past weekend and didn't get to. So give me your thoughts on that. Ignacio Bahamondes, dude. He's a fun-ass fighter to watch. Throws cool spinning shit.
Yeah, I was about to say cool spinning stuff, and he's a big dude for the weight class too. So definitely explosive, and good thing they were able to kind of keep him on the fight. Feels like I hadn't seen him fight in a really long time. So it is good to see him get back and at it, man, because he's Ignacio Badajamondes. He's definitely fun to watch.
Sure enough, dude. Carlos Ulberg returning, dude, against Ihor Pateria, May 13th. Thoughts on that?
Right. That's weird. So Pateria loses to fuck, what's his name? Oh,
He just got beat Shogun.
yeah, no. Who is it that Ulberg just beat?
Nikolai Negamariani.
Yes. So Pateria loses to Nikolai. Ulberg beats Nikolai. Then he fights Pateria next. After, I mean, I know Pateria beat Shogun just now, but you get what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you get what I'm saying? He's fighting the guy that his last opponent has already beaten. So I don't know. It almost kind of feels like he's kind of like there's no progression. There's no like forward progression. He's just kind of staying even. But I mean, he should be a pretty sizable favorite in that fight. He's definitely going to be the more explosive of the two in the striking.
And the last one, man, Jake Matthews is out of his fight. Gabe Green will now fight Brian Battle May 13th. Care about that one at all?
That should be a pretty decent fight. Brian Battle definitely needs some get back since I can't even Renat since a Renat fight. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, since a Renat fight. So yeah, he definitely needs a little bit of get back, and maybe Gabe Green. Gabe Green is a game opponent, but I think one that Brian Battle should be able to win there.
Yeah, man. That's all the ones that I have. I'm just kind of scrolling right now, seeing if I have anything news that pops up. News. Ilya Topuria. This is 2 hours ago. Ilya Topuria versus Josh Emmett to main event in June. Apparently, that's what they're trying for right now. So that would be pretty sick. I wouldn't mind that fight at all, dude.
Hey, I also seen a thing where they said your boy Cody Garbrandt could be potentially fighting Dominic Cruz. Cody Garbrandt versus Dominic Cruz too. What would you think about that potential fight?
I think it'd go just like the first one. The game plan's there, dude. Fucking Dom hasn't changed one bit since his olden days. I think fucking Cody could probably knock him out, dude, or at least just make him look dumb.
Man, you think Cody's got a little bit of that cool
if
game
Cody is smart, he'll go right back to Faber and be like, all right, what's the game plan? And they just have it right there. They like to have it. They get it off the shelf, blow the dust off of it, and be like, here it is. You left this here since 2016, fucking 2017, whatever it was.
Damn.
That'd be what I would go.
Yeah. I can't believe you think man, I mean, Cruz showed some choppers in that last fight against Cheeto before, of course, he ended up getting bombed on with that kick. But, man, especially the way Cody's been fighting too. I mean, I know Cruz doesn't have the power, but man, I think Cruz. I just think he'd be live. Is all I'm saying, I guess.
Maybe, dude. Maybe. Any other news you want to talk about, man, before we get out of here?
Man, I would say that's pretty much I was trying to dig up some stuff myself. I'm pretty much fishing in the same thing you're finding, but shit. We were it will be easy win. I mean Cody Garbrandt, that's definitely Matt's boy. He's been riding with him for a long time.
I have not been dude, every fight I'm like, he's gonna get knocked out. Here he goes. I was wrong on the last one, but it's all right. Real quick before we get out of here, dude, let's let's just look over next weekend's fights, dude. So UFC 287, the return of your favorite fighter, dude, one of my favorite fighters, Alex Pereira versus Israel, the last style bender, Adesanya. Dorian already got his shirt on. He can't even wait until next week's pod. So he's probably going to have that shirt on this week and next week.
Nah, we got another one coming in. Coming in for this week.
You see his poster in the background. So let me just give you guys what is UFC 287, what that is looking like. So we got Izzy versus Alex. We got Gilbert Burns taking on Jorge Masvidal. Rob Font versus Adrian Yanez, dude. Kevin Holland versus Santiago Ponzinibbio. Raul Rosas Jr. versus Christian Rodriguez. That's the main card. Prelims, we got KG, Kelvin Gastelum, taking on Chris Curtis. We had Li Jin Liang versus Mike Chiesa, but that did fall off, so I'm not sure if Chiesa is going to take another fight. Michelle Watterson taking on Luana Pinheiro. Chris Barnett takes on Chase Sherman, dude. That's the opener of the regular prelims. The early prelims, Joe Pyfer taking on GM3 as the main event of the early prelims. Cynthia Calvillo, that's Dorian's girl right there. He never misses a Cynthia Calvillo fight. She's going to be taking on Lupita Godinez, old Lupi Godinez. Ignacio Bahamondes, as we said, going to be fighting Trey Ogden. Yeah, and it's all right. So that's, dude, UFC 287 pretty much stacked. We will make our picks, talk about that for this this upcoming week. But yeah, man, how excited are you for UFC 287?
Dude, I think I told you before UFC 286. I said, man, at this point, really, I just want to get 286 over with so I can get to 287. My two favorite fighters on the card currently, Adrian Yanez and Israel Adesanya. As you see, repping the gear. If Adrian Yanez had a shirt, I would have already bought one from him, but doesn't have like any type of website, or the UFC doesn't have anything on their website. I've been checking the last couple of weeks, and they've been doing me dirty, but definitely got a new Izzy shirt coming for you guys next week. And dude, I've been excited for this fight. I've been excited for this fight card. As Austin's saying here, Jorge Masvidal coming back. Gilbert Burns has kind of exploded as one of the top welterweights in the division, and he's making one last run for that title. So he's taking out anybody in his way. Super fun matchups. And Kevin Holland and Ponzinibbio, dude, like just fireworks. And Raul Rosas, the return, he's going to be kicking off the main card, man. So that main card top to bottom is stacked. And you know my guy, Chris Curtis, the action man himself, he's back. Joe Pyfer, dude, it's an awesome card, dude. And that's one that even though the UFC has been kind of fucking us here lately, and this will be 3 pay-per-views within the last 36 days. Yeah, I think like the last like 36, 37 days has been like 3 pay-per-views. So you little fuckers, you're not that slick. But this one will be worth the money. The last one wasn't, but this one will be.
Yeah, man. I definitely have some strong opinions that we can look forward to next week. Can't wait for you guys to hear those. You know, hopefully we can win some cheddar. The return of Change of Cheddar will be next Friday, dude. So hopefully I can continue on this winning streak, dude. So before we get out of here, let's see what you guys got to say. What's the over/under on Kevin's hair for this guy?
Man, I mean, who knows what he's going to come out with? I mean, you know, if he's talking about in terms of craziness over/under, I'm definitely going over on the crazy, because he always comes out with something wacky.
And Caleb Cutler, don't count out 2-piece and a soda, bro. I may be kind of riding with you just a little bit. Gilbert's kind of chinny, but we'll talk about it next week. That's going to be all from us this time. Anything before we get out of here, man?
No, man. I think we cleaned it up today.
All right, that's about an hour today, so we appreciate everyone y'all by. If you are watching this live, if you are watching this at a later date that's not here live on a Wednesday night, either way, we appreciate you very much. Thank you very much for watching the video. Please hit that thumbs up button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you are not, and we will catch you next week for the preview of UFC 287, where we're going to be breaking down, making our picks for every single one of those fights that we just now talked about. That being said, hey, look who popped in here. Look who popped in here.
Hey, what up?
What's going on, Matt? Glad
What
you were
up, man?
able to make it in here, bro.
Hey, what up, dude? Hell yeah.
What's going on, Matt? Yeah. That being said, we'll catch every single one of y'all next week, dude. And then yeah, get it popping from there. I'm so excited. Looking forward to next week, dude. Can't wait. But yeah, man. Catch y'all next time. Matt Dorian is on that side of the screen. This is the Golden Octagon MMA Podcast, and we'll catch y'all next week. Peace.